Today on Digital Age Family Safety, we're talking to families about prioritizing quality media. Parents, have you ever had the television on when a show or commercial makes you squirm and think, that was not appropriate for my kids to see? Now imagine if you weren't in the room and your kids were watching without you. You're not the only one, and this happens all the time, especially in our media-saturated world. Today, we're talking to families about ways of prioritizing quality media so that your kids can get entertaining, educational, and fun content without sacrificing your morals and values. For more perspective on this topic, we go to Sister Nancy Usselmann.
Let's talk about something that's so important for children's growth, the kind of media they're engaging with every day. You parents are the primary educators of your children, not just in knowledge, but in every part of life, including how they interact with the digital world. The media children consume shapes their minds, their hearts, and even their spirits. That's why prioritizing quality and educational media isn't just a nice idea, it's a responsibility. When children engage with thoughtful, uplifting, or educational content, it supports their intellectual growth, encourages healthy emotional development, and can even nourish their spiritual life. And when families choose media intentionally, it creates opportunities to live out your faith together in everyday moments. The key is to help kids explore technology and to ask questions of media messages, not just give them the answers. They can then evaluate messages according to values. In this way, you're teaching them the skill of moral discernment, an essential ability to recognize the consequences of one's actions and grow in empathy. This is where prayer comes in. By praying as a family, whether before gaming, after a favorite show, or just reflecting together after watching a movie, you invite God into your media experiences and guide your children in making choices that reflect your faith values. Your home truly becomes a domestic church. So take a moment today. Look at the media your children are watching, playing, or scrolling through. Ask yourself, does this help them grow in knowledge, kindness, and holiness? And use prayer to lead them gently toward content that lifts them up. There are numerous Catholic media resources available that are fun, engaging, and beautifully creative. Resource sites like Pauline Media Studies can help you evaluate some movies and streaming series from a Catholic perspective. When you prioritize quality media in your homes, you're not just filling your children's time, you're forming their hearts, minds, and souls to be discerning and faith-filled disciples of Christ. So let's be intentional, let's be mindful, and let's guide children in a digital world that helps them grow to be healthy and holy digital disciples.
Some of the benefits that I think technology offers is just more variety in education and entertainment. There's a lot of great sources of information, of education across all different kinds of technology channels and apps. I think it's important to educate early and to talk about it early, because by the time that children are teenagers or preteens, it's going to be very commonplace for many of their peers. So it's more important that you just expose them early to it in the ways that you feel is safe, and to have those conversations early about what to do. Even though my child is only 4, we've advised him, for example, to not click on links when he sees certain links, because we don't know where that's gonna go. Yes, it can go to a game, you could just buy the game, but it could also go someplace nefarious, you just don't know. So just don't click on the links, just click the skip button. And also be reasonable about what feels doable for your family. Because media literacy is so important and it's always evolving, it can't just be one conversation or one course you have at one point in time. I think that if they were embedded in normal conversation, people would do adulting in that stage of transitioning from a teenager to adulthood so much better.
I think it's so valuable that as Catholics that we try to keep up our best with encyclicals and documents from the church, because they're a wealth of knowledge and really can help us to care for others, our family, and for the common good. If you think about a child who's learning about God, has a relationship with God, encounters something scary online, and they have a good relationship with their parents, because that's another important thing. Having a good and safe relationship with parents will likely maybe open that door to sharing something that they see online. Sometimes kids or youth or even adults, we're not looking for that, bad image, but it pops up. And I know I've had situations where children are pretty traumatized from some of the things, maybe they're watching, some innocent show and then something comes up. The hope is that they're able to tell their parent what happened and the parent's able to support them. It's important that parents go to reliable sources to get their information, because now there's just so much misleading information that, parents need to really be informed and educated, and that's how we can make the best decision. Value system, moral foundation can really be a compass for parents and for their children to make good decisions.
Here are some things you can do to prioritize quality media for your family. It's time for Sister Nancy's Tips for Parents.
Here are 3 tips on prioritizing quality media. Tip number 1, seek out like-minded families. Find support in others who share your family's values around media. It can facilitate meaningful in-person relationships rather than leaving children feeling isolated or different. Tip number 2, be choosy about your media. Take time to search out quality Catholic entertainment and information sources that inspire, inform, and uplift for every age group. Evaluate secular media with the same criteria. Tip number 3, distinguish between meaningful and mindless entertainment. Support children in learning to recognize the difference between meaningful and mindless screen use, rather than focusing solely on time limits. Make decisions about media use based on the quality and context of the activities in question. St. Paul was perhaps history's greatest communicator of the gospel message. Rather than limiting himself to speaking only to those he could reach in person, Paul made strategic use of the communication technologies of his time, writing detailed letters that could be copied and shared among Christian communities across the Roman Empire. His letters weren't just practical instructions, but profound theological reflections that continue to form the church today. It might sound funny to say he produced some of the greatest quality media of all time, yet as the author of the majority of the New Testament, St. Paul truly models what is possible when we let Christ completely transform us into communicators of his message of love and truth. St. Paul, intercede for our family as we seek to prioritize media that matters. Help us to be as Christ-centered as you were in choosing how we communicate and what we consume. May we always use media to create community, facilitate understanding, and share Christ's hope in digital spaces. Amen.
What does quality media mean to you? Let us know what you think and stay connected by subscribing to our channel. Please like this video and share it with your family and friends. Thanks for watching Digital Age Family Safety.